Hey YouTube, alright, here's another one of my amazing videos. I posted a video about a week ago on YouTube about the BlackBerry and the charging problem, where you get a USB message saying it's unable to charge. I forget what that message was, but I'll post the link in the video in case you want to look at it. I told you how to get into the engineering operating screen and bypass that message. That's really cool, but it's only a temporary thing. I don't believe it lasts. So to get around this, the easiest way and the cheapest way is to use a charging-only USB cord. I'll explain that in a minute for those who didn't watch the video or who don't understand. So what I'm going to do now is, hopefully this is going to work. Usually when I start my videos, the battery goes dead on the camera, like it did last time, or what I'm trying to show doesn't happen. So here's my solar charging unit, which I used in that other video, and I'm going to plug it into the phone. Hopefully, we're going to get that message that it can't charge, because if we don't get that message, then that sucks, and I can't do the video. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're looking up in the top, the white area where it should be charging right now. There it is. Good. The video is going to work. The charging source connected to your BlackBerry device cannot charge your battery. There's a reason for that. If the charging source has, I believe if it's got too little current, then the BlackBerry won't accept the charge. Now, when you plug in your USB cord to your computer, usually as long as you have the drivers on the computer, or if you have the BlackBerry software, then you shouldn't have a problem. It should be able to charge. When you connect certain power cords, it might charge, it might not. You might get this message. Okay, so you see right now, you see the USB message, and you see in the upper left-hand corner that the battery has no, it doesn't have the black power cord plug icon, and it doesn't have the lightning bolt charging. So I'm going to disconnect. Sorry about all the flaky video here, but I don't really care how good it looks as long as you learn something. So I'm going to disconnect this cord, and that message goes away. Okay, let's see. Let me press the space bar so the thing doesn't go dark. Now, here is, I'm trying to get this so that you can see it, so I'm doing this on a chair. I told you, high-tech video here. Here's a USB cord, another USB cord, and I modified it. You see the little tape over there. There's my modification. Let me first show you what I'm trying to explain, prove it to you, and then I'll tell you what I did. So I'm going to plug this USB cord. That's what I'm doing now. I'm plugging the modified cord into the power, my solar panel thing, and then I'm going to, you can see I've got a little, this is an old cord. This is the old BlackBerry mini connector, and I've got an adapter that's going to convert it to the micro. Because I didn't want to waste a cord doing this test if it was going to not work. So, okay, I'm going to plug that into, let me show you just so you can believe what I'm doing. I just plugged it into the USB on the solar thing, and now I'm going to plug it into the cell phone. Hopefully, not only are we not going to get that message, but we're going to see the lightning bolt for charging on the battery icon in the upper left-hand corner. So, it would help if I plugged it in the right way. All right, let's see. Do we get it? Hopefully we get it. Can we see it? Do I see it? It doesn't really show up in the video too well. There it is. You see the little flashing yellow? Got too much light on the screen here. Okay, so it's charging now. Whereas before, we saw that message, that USB message, that it wouldn't charge. So, okay, how do we do that? Let me explain that to you. Get out the markers, and I should have left the cell phone there so that you had some graphics. Okay, let me get out these Sharpie markers so that I can explain this whole thing to you. We're going to have a... Does that show up? That doesn't even show up. There we go. I'm holding the camera. This is going to be really bad. That is your big USB for the computer. Or it could be your external power supply, which in my case was the solar panel. And in the USB, I should really do this with color, but I'm not going to. Yes, I am, just so that you don't get all mixed up. Okay. Trying to take the cap off of this thing. All right, let's make this green. I know this is really hard to read, but this is going to be green. Yeah, I know my printing sucks, but like I said, I am holding the camera, and okay, that's going to be white. I know it's not white, but I can't draw white on a white sheet of paper, can I? All right. This is going to make sense to you in a minute. If you mess around with electronics, if you've got a soldering iron, if you've got some mini wire strippers, if you've got a magnifier so you can make sure you're doing a clean job, or a microscope, or really good eyes, a little bit of solder, some tape, maybe some heat shrink, then this should be an easy thing for you to do. Black. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be doing the black up here so you don't get mixed up. No, should I? What do I want to do? Let's make this black. I can always scratch off what I did so you don't get mixed up. Black. All right. I take off this last cap. And then we have, this shows up in all the USB cables. Okay. So let me scribble off this top thing because that doesn't exist. There are only 4 wires in a USB cable. You have your power wires, which are red, +5, and ground is the black wire. And then you have your green and white, oh sorry, not the greatest video as I told you, which are your data. Data and data. Okay, how long is this video? If I go too long, then I can't do it high def. Okay, so you get your +5, your ground, and your 2 data lines. What happens when you plug in your USB cord to your cell phone is the data lines look at the power. The data lines inside the phone look at the power source that's coming in from the red and the black. And if the data lines don't like what kind of power it sees, it tells the phone not to accept the power, and that's why you get that USB message. Okay, hold on a second. I left something off here. This is let's make this better, USB phone. Okay, so really what happens is these wires go from the USB connector, the computer, straight across to the USB phone connector. All 4 of them connect in there, and that's what causes the problem that I was explaining. There's a way around that, and so I'm going to have to take off the covers of all these markers again to explain it to you. What you do is I'm going to include some pictures. I took some photos while I was doing this. I'll throw them in on the video just so you can look and see what I did. It wasn't the greatest quality work, but it was just a quick test to make sure that I could show everyone how to do this thing for the video so that you can learn. All right, so the most important thing is you need your black and your red connected to the connector, like they are. And if a lot of videos, a lot of people tell you, go in and cut the green and the white data line, that will solve the problem. Sometimes it solves it, most of the time it doesn't. The phone just doesn't do anything. It might charge and it might not. This seems to be happening on the BlackBerry, the Androids. What else does it happen on? I think no, it doesn't happen on, I don't know if it happens on the iPhone, but this is a really common thing. So what you need to do is, let's get out that, I know, like I said before, I'm using blue for white. So normally you would have the blue wire going across, which is really white in the cable. And you would have your green going across and connecting. What you want to do is you want to open up this cable. You can cut it if you want to. You'll see in my video what I did is I removed the sleeving with an X-Acto knife. I removed the outer black jacket with an X-Acto knife, very carefully under a microscope so I wouldn't cut anything, and then I removed the foil that was in there, and I kept the red and the black wire connected together so I didn't have to worry about that. And what I did is I cut the green wire and the white wire. You'll see that in the photos that I put in there. And I just took the black, the white wire and the green wire, the data lines, and I connected them together on the USB phone side, soldered them together, twisted them together, soldered them together, put some tape over there. You could put some heat shrink if you want. It's up to you. And then on the other side where you have the other wires that you cut, the green and the white, I just took that and I cut them short and I put some tape on them so that they wouldn't short out to each other and they wouldn't stay connected to the USB phone side, and that solves the problem. So really all you're doing is you are cutting your cable on the USB phone side of the cable. You're keeping the red and the black power wires connected, and you're shorting out the green and the white wires that are in the connector. You're making sure that the green and the white on the USB computer side of the cable are not shorted together and are not touching anything. So you can put some tape on there, as I said, or some heat shrink. And then what I did is I took a nice bunch of tape and taped this whole thing up to protect it. You could do hot glue if you wanted, as long as it doesn't melt anything. You could put a big piece of heat shrink on there before you start attaching the wires together. You could use tape, whatever you want to do. And like I showed you before, let me get the cell phone back up here. Let's get the cell phone up here. And that is my cable. And that connects to the my USB power source. And it allows me to get that flashing, let's get it in focus, that flashing lightning bolt message instead. I told you this was high-tech. High-tech. Instead of unplugging that cable again, instead of the message that we're going to get in 2 seconds when I plug the non-modified data cable in. It should pop up any minute now. There it is. And that is the power source that I just plugged back in. So, another way around this, if you don't want to screw with modifying it, you can go on the internet. I think Amazon sells them. They're called USB charging only cables. You can go in the store and find them. You want to look for your charging cord. You want to make sure that there are 2 different types that they sell. The one that you normally get with your phone, which should list it as charging data cable, and that will have all 4 of these wires connected. And that allows you to transfer files to your computer, and it allows you to transfer pictures and to sync things up. The minute you go to this charging only cable, you can't do any of that. All you can do is charge the phone, which comes in handy because let me tell you, with all the problems we're having in this world, if there's a major power failure, chances are if there's a major power failure, the cell towers are going to go down. But if the cell towers don't go down, look what happened at the Sandy hurricane thing. Everybody was rushing to charge their cell phone at public power places. If you had one of these solar things that I bought online for about 23 bucks or something, and a data cable, a non-data cable, a charging-only cable, you could plug this into your cell phone, and while all those weenies are walking around the city, unable to make phone calls, you'd be king weenie, because you would be able to do the charging of your cell phone by yourself, and you wouldn't have to worry about external batteries and all that other crap. You'd be taken care of. So this is really the way to go. Plan in advance. If you do go online or you go to the store, as I said, make sure you look on the package that it says charging only cable. You don't want it to say data. Oh, there's another message coming in on the cell. Mr. Popular tonight. And all right, so I'm going to throw this video together in the editing program and add the photos that I took as I was putting this cable together. Hopefully this helped you. If you like it, leave some good comments, or you're more than welcome to compensate me for my time. I think my email address is inside my profile. Not that you'd want to, but if you want to, that's up to you. All right, so that's it. I'm going to shut this thing off and start loading it in. Oh, wow, it went longer than 15 minutes, so no high def upload.